Thank you for such a great question. I think it's been a necessity to move forward, because after 14 years having a studio in continental Europe, in Prague and Brno, and after few last years, majorly after COVID, we also succeed to work across other countries as Albania, Austria, Germany, Poland, so the region around the Czech Republic where we're based. We just realized that it would be maybe the right time after all this experience and build projects to explore more advanced markets. And London, we consider London as the only global city in Europe. Maybe Paris people would be a little bit disappointed for this opinion, but what I really love on London is the mix of cultures, but also the unique combination of contemporary architecture within the city center. Because I'm coming originally from Prague, and it's extremely conservative, and you are unable to build anything contemporary or characterful in the old town, and London is completely opposite.
Well, that's interesting, because London, well, the kind of multiculturalism I've seen in London, I haven't seen anywhere in Europe. So
yeah.
There is a kind of attraction, almost like a fixation on older times, or on when the culture was more homogeneous, and I think that's not a good place for architecture to operate in. What do you say?
I think the multiculturalism is the flavor of an experiment in the architecture. It gives very nice inspiration for thinking differently, because if you work for mixed-use cultures, you have to think about much more ingredients you have to put into your designs, because if you design for majority only, and you do not include the minorities, for instance, it's suddenly not inclusive enough, and it's not contemporary. So London, it's in my opinion, there's no majority. It's just a mixture of minorities, and therefore also I feel very confident in this city, because I was welcomed not as a foreigner, but as one of like expected visitor. And that's something completely different compared to continental Europe, in my opinion. I think character is something what we were searching for in the architecture debate for a very long time, and it's something different than the form. It's something different than it's more than context. It's something different than to create an icon, because as we human beings are, someone is extrovert, someone is introvert. It's not related to your face or how do you look like, but it's related, but it's not a definition. So it's a complex of many things you take as the author into the consideration, and you're trying to be very specific and very careful, including as much as possible ingredients to achieve the characterful design. I think character is maybe covering a lot of things, and our recently published book, we have 14 projects representing 8 topics covered by the character, crafted character title, and the things are how we treat existing built structures, how we treat materials, how can we recycle, how can we upcycle, what is the context in 21st century, how important the context is, what is the affordable solutions for housing. I think the role of architects, the role of our profession is slightly changing from design makers into the problem solvers, and this is maybe a change of paradigm within our generation, because we are living in this world, and we are going to live in here hopefully next 60 years, and the challenges and the changes are maybe more drastical than 30-40 years ago, where the society was quite stabilized and not that dynamic, let's say. I have no crystal ball in my hand, and I'm always rather solving problems right on the table without thinking about challenges in the future. But it's extremely refreshing to be here, because in the continental Europe I do operate majorly in Prague, Brno, Vienna, maybe a little bit in Milan, but it's the London society and London environment is much faster. Even the people are walking much faster on the streets. I'm originally coming from the medium-sized town from the Czech Republic, Brno, 300,000 inhabitants, and the speed of pedestrians is like 10 times slower than the speed of pedestrians in London. And as far as I have no driving license and I do not own any car, I do walk a lot, and this is something significant for me, the speed of pedestrians. And while walking the urban patterns, and while walking the streets, squares, riverbanks, etc., you are, as an architect, you have great opportunity to feel the flavor and to feel the character of the city. And this tremendous mixture of having this opportunity, walking and working in different cities, is very inspiring for our artwork. Yeah, we were just recently approached by a client who appreciated our track record in the Czech Republic in terms of our expertise of refurbishing brutalist structures, and London is full of brutalist architecture. So we are I don't want to say working, but negotiating about a project, how to transform an brutalist office space in a city in a city center of London into something more contemporary. And you have to figure out many hybrid strategies how to achieve something contemporary out of architecture from 60s/70s. And those strategies are something what we love to work on, because if you have an opportunity to work on an existing structure, you can always try to understand what is the best quality of the existing, and to think how to add a new flavor, new character, new life into it, while considering the existing character, because you don't want to kill the old quality by replacing by something new one. And this dialogue between old and new is always what I love the most, because the older structures they have, for instance, completely different haptic, different materiality. They are usually more raw and brutal. And then as designer, you can think if the new layer is is even more brutal or is softer as in contrast. So this dialogue is the most challenging, but also the most beautiful part of my work. I think that's you're absolutely right, because in my country we had this terrible history of 40 years of communism, of totality, and it was just very sad and bad era, and we are recovering past 35 years out of it. The layer of the architecture from the communist era is by majority, by general public, considered as something bad. But I do consider many, I can recognize many architectural masterpieces within those 40 years. And I would never agree to demolish them because they were built in undemocratic period of time. So this sensibility and this sensitivity of understanding that there's also certain quality and there were great authors of those buildings is something what we can also bring to the more international environment, because once you leave the general opinion about certain era and you understand the era as a layer of your society, you shouldn't erase that layer, because once you erase that layer, you can forget what was bad and what was maybe also good. And if you erase something, you can forget. And if you forget, the same mistake could repeat again. So, and the architecture is absolutely essential in this national memory, because architecture was always representative of certain era, and many things were bad, but some things were great. So I think we can also learn from that period of time, partially, in a very critical manner, but our responsibility to keep as much as possible. The next is to be here present as much as possible, because the great thing is that the connection with my home is every 2 hours every day, so it's quite easy to be here, and I traveled a lot from, for instance, Brno to Prague, and it's the same time by the train or by the plane to London, and we've developed a team here in London, and we are already working on some projects here. And I hope we are going to be successful here, because this old and new concept of thinking about different layers within existing urban pattern is something what is very challenging, and London is maybe the best place for understanding those layers, because, as I mentioned previously, this is maybe the only city where, in this scale, where the old structures and the contemporary architecture align together. And personally, I have my family, I have 2 children back home, and I'm always happy to travel together with them. So my base is in the Czech Republic, but I really feel very confident to explore the city with my little children, because they are suddenly very amazed by red buses and the double-deckers and big towers. And as far as they are 3 and 4 years old, they are always curious, when are we going again to London, Daddy? So that's my personal challenge here.